Opinions. We all have them. Some are objectively wrong. Some, like mine, are objectively right. Completely unrelated, did you know there was a Banlist in Modern in December 2024 and I reacted to it and might have been completely wrong on most things? Today, while I'm currently in the middle of working on my next big project, here's a couple stills from the editing process to see how that's going. Really excited to get that out and shown to you, but a lot going into it, so it's still gonna be a few weeks out at this point. So in the meantime, I thought it'd be kind of fun to go back and take a look at my old video on the December 2024 Modern Banlist and see what I got right, what I got wrong, mostly what I got wrong, if I was right at all. I don't think I was. And let's see the gift of hindsight really just tear me apart. Standard, no changes, no surprise there. I really didn't expect anything to happen to Standard. People seem to like it right now. There's definitely quite a few archetypes roaming around. Remember when people liked where Standard was? Good times. Standard, I mean, you know, no changes. Nobody really expected anything back then. Standard was good. Pioneer. Jigantha the Wellspring gets banned. It's super free as long as you don't run something that's like double monocolored pips. Got Standard and Pioneer out of the way. Nobody cares about them. Nobody cared about them in that ban list. Let's get to the fun stuff. We banned Amped Raptor? What? Like, I'm gonna get to their reasons, but why? Who gives a shit about Amped Raptor, dude? Like, oh man, 2-1 for 2 with First Strike that can sometimes flip into something. This is not the thing pushing energy over the edge, I kind of assure you that. It's probably, I don't know, Flage Titan of Nature's Wrath. So it's kind of funny looking back and seeing like, oh, clearly the problem with Boros energy is Flage, you know? I know people like how diverse Modern is. I know some people like that, Modern has this mid-range aggro-y deck that's one of the top decks, but the play patterns of the deck are just super boring, just like with a lot of other decks in Modern right now. Obviously, looking back on it now, Energy would be in a much, much, much more dominant spot if they could still use Amped Raptor. I feel like I played Amped Raptor down just a little too much. I mean, I don't even want to imagine Energy with Amped Raptor now. Yeah, I don't know. Bad take from me, I guess. Okay, Jigantha. Now, unlike in Pioneer, this is one that I was hearing floating around in Modern. It's even freer in Modern right now. It's just a 5/5 for 5 that you can pull out of your sideboard for 3 on a turn that you're not doing anything. I'm just gonna skip this one. Jigantha got banned in Pioneer and Modern. It was a free roll in so many decks. It was changing how decks were being made. We know, we understand why Jigantha was banned. Mox Opal? Okay, sorry, I didn't elaborate. I didn't think anything should be unbanned, personally. Like, everything seemed fine, and like, if you're gonna unban something, I don't think anybody had Mox Opal on their radar. In what world? So, back in the day, was Mox Opal a mistake? I mean, at the time, it was really concerning. But, gift of hindsight, it's a good card, but really only one main deck that is a contender in Modern is playing it, which is Affinity. Shocker. And it's the number 4 deck in Modern on the MTG Goldfish page on the 7-day right now. It's been top ever since people have been able to figure out how to really play it. So as of right now, it's made Affinity good, but it hasn't exactly become oppressive. And of course, after this video, we got Pinnacle Emissary out of Edge of Eternities, which is a really good card with the Affinity deck, because the real goal of it is, put out all your cheap artifacts, 0 and 1 manas, spam Kappa Cannoneer, spam Thought cast effects, and then Pinnacle Emissary just gave the deck a 1 mana thing to do with that. Well, 3/1, whatever, but play it on for 1 on the first turn, throw out a billion cheap artifacts, and you've got a board already, which is a really strong play. It's another free artifact that's insanely good and allows you to turbo into things like Kappa Cannoneer and Thought Monitor even faster. And like, yeah, again, Affinity hasn't been great recently, but like, that doesn't mean we should unban Mox Opal. I still think Mox Opal is one of those cards where like, down the line, it might have to be banned again, because if more powerful artifacts get printed, there's always the thought of they go in a Mox Opal deck, because if it's an artifact, it's going to interact with Mox Opal if it cares about artifacts. So there's always that concern. However, I don't think that's an excuse to keep a card banned forever, which is a position I've kind of changed on since this video, which is a lot of these cards that got unbanned, I didn't like the idea of them being banned for their play patterns or potential play patterns in the future. But the idea that a card could be bannable down the line still because cards get printed that make it broken again is not a reason to keep it banned for months, years, because you think that might happen. It's not happening, it hasn't happened, it's made exactly Affinity a really good deck again, but nothing impressive, so I was horribly wrong. We should not have kept Mox Opal on the ban list. Maybe it'll get banned in the future, but as of right now, totally fine. Green Sun Zenith, oh my god! There's a lot of whataboutism with Green Sun Zenith, and it could very easily come to fruition because it's a powerful card. One of the most powerful things the card could do is find Dryad Arbor on turn 1, right? But then you also have to factor in the fact that that's not all it can do. If that's all it could do, it'd be fine, but it can scale. In my head, it's like Amulet Titan, you know? This is a pretty big tutor, potentially for them. It allows them to find a land in the form of Dryad Arbor. It allows them to find other cheaper pieces like Dryad of the Elysian Grove. This one I'm a little more cautiously optimistic about. Like, I want to believe that this card is going to help toolbox decks come back into the meta, maybe like green-based creature decks. I always really like the inner optimist in me going, well, you know, Green Sun Zenith could bring back these green creature toolbox decks that I used to play. Be like, oh, maybe these bad decks will get just a little bit better. No, Green Sun Zenith primarily sees use in Amulet Titan, so I was on the right track there, but not for Dryad Arbor. We're not playing Dryad Arbor in 2025, that card's bad. Instead, one thing I didn't realize what was going to happen is that Amulet Titan started going to Mirror Pool combos. Green Sun Zenith is used alongside Summoner's Pact to grab Dryad of the Elysian Grove, which I mentioned in the video. That's one of the primary things it can do. It allows you to run less copies of your combo cards. Aftermath Analyst, you'd only have to run one copy of Icetail Explorer if you want to. It just allows your combo to be a little cleaner, so you don't have to run multiple of those if you don't want to, and it just makes things more consistent overall for that combo win. My cautious optimism was slightly wrong. Nobody's really playing this but Amulet Titan and seeing good results. Amulet Titan's here, it's not the best deck, pull up the copy pasta. So we've learned nothing. So it turns out we have learned nothing. It was me. Yes, graveyard decks, like dedicated graveyard combo decks, not the best. But this is the same logic as fucking Mox Opal. You don't unban it. You don't unban Faithless Looting. Maybe it works out, you know, maybe it works out. Maybe the stars aligned, but I'm really not thinking so here. So Wizards seems to be going on this crusade of this archetype isn't doing well, let's unban their best enabler that was played in basically everything in its heyday. You know, now with this context, you know, maybe Mox Opal is sensible. Same reason that I didn't like Mox Opal, same reason it was fine. Faithless Looting is played in exactly red Reanimator decks, and it's fine. It does its job as a cantrip that fills the graveyard for them, whether it be something they want to reanimate or putting cards in the graveyard for something like a Pornoculus. It sees homes in exactly those type of decks, and it turns out those aren't the best thing to be doing in Modern right now, and red versions even less so. A lot of times the Goryo's variants are Esper, they don't have red in them because there's other things you can do cantrip-wise instead. So I was horribly wrong on Faithless Looting. Turns out it's fine and it doesn't really matter anymore. Okay, alright. They're just stupid. They just don't care about their competitive formats anymore. Hyperbole aside, let me explain why Splinter Twin unbanning is a bad idea, right? This is just caving to the boomers. It's always been a meme, unban Splinter Twin, unban Splinter Twin. But the problem is the people who want Splinter Twin unbanned are from the 2015 era, where you were just like throwing this onto a Pestermite and going off, right? And that was like the best you could do. You're telling me that that's how they're gonna play it now? The modern boomers are going to look at this and go, oh, just like the good old days. And then they're gonna realize that people are going to be slamming this with all the broken cards Modern has come out with recently, and then they're gonna be like, oh, not like that, I was hoping we'd revert to 2014 Modern. Let's be honest, Splinter Twin has done absolutely nothing since it got unbanned. There's certainly people trying to still make it work, but it's 4 mana, it's sorcery speed. All the reasons people were saying why it wouldn't be played are the reasons it wouldn't be played. My thought on this was, oh, you could just put Splinter Twin on a powerful creature and make copies of it to get its benefits, you know? It's still a really good value piece on certain cards, like, I don't know, like back in the day, people were saying like, Omnath Locus of Creation, it's a great thing to make copies of or whatever. But that doesn't matter. For 4 mana to do that, why do that when instead of at 4 mana sorcery speed, the creature can be killed by Solitude, it can be just negated by Force Negation or just counterspell. Again, super interactable. Instead of doing that, why don't you just hold up a 1 mana white spell at instant speed that flickers it, so you get your enters the battlefield triggers and can be used as protection, and since it's at instant speed, it's a lot harder to interact with, and it has rebound, so you can do it the next turn as well. Like, turns out, Ephemerate kind of does the things that Splinter Twin wants to do fairly way better. Sure, you can't combo with it, but you don't need to. You just need to drown yourself in value and make these big idiots stick around so that they can, you know, put the hurts. Charbelcher can be searched for in that deck. Splinter Twin and a creature, you need an aura and a creature, a specific creature. That's a lot harder to put together in current Modern. It's a lot harder to get those two pieces naturally, so then you're going to more of a control deck style, and oh, well, we're back to the problem. Charbelcher exists. Why do a slow control combo deck when Charbelcher can just do it? You only need 1 card and just enough mana, and it's a guaranteed win on the spot. I'm generally of the opinion that unbannings are like a good thing. It makes the format stretch its wings a little bit. These aren't how you do it. It in fact was the way how you do it. This is actually how you let the format stretch its wings. Unplayable Affinity is no longer one of my relevant videos, simply because Mox Opal existing made that deck work again and put that deck on the map. And then they added Pinnacle Emissary, and the deck is still very relevant in Modern. I'm not gonna go over my Legacy predictions too much. They were basically just, yep, this is what I heard Legacy players were saying they wanted banned, and they did, so good for them. I didn't have much of a stake in Legacy. Wizards of the Coast clearly doesn't have much of a stake in Legacy. So yeah, how correct was I? You know, Faithless Looting Sea's playing like a deck or two. It didn't make the format explode, because turns out a lot of the things that work really well with Faithless Looting are still banned. Mox Opal just slotted into Affinity and made Affinity good again. But it's just about as good as the other top decks. Amtraptor turns out was in fact a card that should have been hit. Not really correct there. The thing with Modern right now is it is a really diverse meta, but it is a really diverse meta of what I think are not the best play patterns in Magic. It's like Flicker a big idiot, combo deck that plays a billion counter spells and then just wins, you know? Cheat mana, make big thing, reanimate big thing from graveyard. As for other things I said in the video, you know, Green Sun Zenith did not bring quirky toolbox decks back, it just made Amulet Titan better. You know, friggin' shocker there, right? You know, me being optimistic. Not even to mention Splinter Twin, which did absolutely literally nothing in the format. Just nothing happened with it. People tried, realized it was bad, and stopped doing that and moved on to other things like Boros Energy. All in all, the big takeaway from this is I was horribly wrong in this video. Almost none of my predictions came true, and the ones that did come true did not even fully come true. You know, prediction, hindsight's 20/20, right? And while Modern didn't get overtaken by some new powerful strategy from these unbannings, there's times that looking at the current metagame, I kind of wish it did. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Still working on the big video that'll hopefully be coming out pretty soon. And as always, I hope you all have a great rest of your day.